What's going on, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Trading My Funded Account. Today is day number 55. It's December the 28th, 2023. We made some trades today, so let's get into it. All right, so the first thing we need to talk about, let's talk about yesterday's closing price. So that price level was represented by this purple line right here towards the middle of the chart at 38,011. So let's go ahead and talk about trade number one. So on trade number one, I went long here after a retest of higher low A right here. All right, but what I should always remember is that I need to buy as close as I can to support. And this was a lesson that I was focusing on yesterday as well, because yeah, I did have a profitable day yesterday, but it was some trades that I needed to clean up, and that was one of the biggest things that I needed to work on, which is just don't get excited that you see your setup starting to work and you get so excited that you want to jump in front of that trade. What you got to remember is that no matter how much you think the market might move away from you, more than likely it's coming back to retest that higher low support level. So just go long as close as you can towards support. Right here, I went long maybe 6 or 7 points above support, and that cost me. You know, if I would have went long at the bottom as prices came back down here to this wick, I would have been able to at least move my stop up to break even as prices were on their way back down, and I wouldn't have had to take this loss right here. So that's why it's always important to make sure that you buy as close as you can to that higher low support level. All right, so trade number two right here, I shorted here expecting for the selling to continue. So I pretty much saw that this higher low from A was broken through. So anytime you see a higher low get broken through, you want to see if prices can come back, retest that level, and then get rejected. If they get rejected, then you want to short and expect for prices to continue moving down a little bit. All right, so that's what I was looking for right here at trade two, but I cut the trade when I saw buying momentum start to come in. And that's one of my biggest rules, which is if you have momentum coming up into an entry that you're trying to trade and your entry is going against the momentum. So in this case, the momentum was to the upside, but I was trying to go short. If you're ever in a situation like that, if you have a chance to get out somewhere near break even, just go ahead and do that, because you don't want to get in the way of momentum. So I think I did a good job here of just realizing that, yes, I had an idea, but the idea got invalidated when it was momentum that came up into this level. So I just went ahead and got out. All right, so let's move on to trade number three. So at three, I went long here as prices came back to retest higher low A once again. And then I just took this back up to yesterday's closing price. So we broke back above higher low A after we had a very sharp move to the upside. And if you look at this on a 5-minute chart, this swing low right here actually represented a higher low on the 5-minute. So for us to break back above A, that was a very bullish sign. We came back, we retested the support level from A. So I went long and just took prices back up to yesterday's closing price. Okay. So trade number four. Now this was interesting because this right here was more of an anticipation move. I was just expecting for a bounce from YCP, yesterday's closing price, to happen. But what I need to remember is to always wait for that confirmation. Like, you might have an idea about what the market might do, but you still got to let the market confirm to you that this is what it wants to do. And then once you see that confirmation, you can go ahead and get in and take that trade that you was looking for. But you want to make sure that you don't get in too early and that you wait for that confirmation. That's very important. So on trade number five, I went long here as prices came back to retest higher low C from right here where this green circle is. So I went long right here, and prices were kind of just bouncing in between yesterday's closing price and the support level from the higher low. So I wasn't quite sure if this was something that I should stay in. So I said, you know what? Let me get out, because I'm not really quite sure about what exactly the market wants to do. But after these next two candles got formed, I pretty much just realized, okay, we're in an uptrend right now. More than likely, we're probably going to continue to keep moving higher. So if I have a higher low trade that I entered in, let me just go ahead, take this trade, and hold it back up to the daily high if it can get there. And that's pretty much exactly what I did on trade number six. So at trade six, I took the same trade as trade five, but I held it back up to the daily high at that time. And the only difference between 5 and 6 was that I had a little bit more confirmation, because I just started thinking, okay, it's not that the market can't go down, but I understand that the trend is very strong, not only for today, but the uptrend is strong on the daily chart as well. So more than likely, the overall sentiment for this market is a buying sentiment, meaning that people want to go long, and that's what they're looking for. So I said, okay, I have a long setup right here in front of me, let me just go ahead and take my long trade. If I take a loss on it, I'm okay with that. So that was pretty much the mindset I had behind trade 6. Went long right here once again, and then just took it back up to the daily high. Okay, so let's talk about trade number 7. So at 7, I went long here at the bottom of a consolidation zone, and my break even got hit. And sometimes when you're trading the zone, that's just how it's going to play out, because if I go long at the bottom of the zone, if my position moves into my favor to trigger my break even, I will honor and respect that break even loss. You know, because I've seen a lot of times where you trade a zone and prices come back, they retest that entry and then they move up. But I've also seen times where prices, you go long at the bottom of the zone, prices come back down to where your entry was, and then they just keep on going and eventually hit your stop. So in today's scenario, I was just like, look, I'm going to honor my break even stops, and if prices come back down to this level again and I see what I would like to see, then that's when I'll go long and take that same trade. And that's pretty much what I ran into at trade number 8. So at trade number 8, I went long at the lows of the zone, and then I took prices back up to the top. And when you're trading the zone, that's pretty much exactly what you want to look for. You want to trade the zone in the direction that prices were trending in before the zone got established. So we can see that the trend was up before this consolidation zone was established. So that means that I only want to trade this zone from the long side. So if you want to go long, you want to go long as close as you can to the support level of that consolidation zone, which is what I did on trade 8. And then you want to take that all the way back up to the uppermost level of whatever consolidation zone you were looking at. And that's pretty much where I got out on trade number 8. So overall, I would say today was a very decent day. You know, I came in, I traded my setups for the most part the right way. Now, there are some things I need to clean up. I need to remember to always make sure that if you do want to go long as close as you can to support, and don't go long if you don't have a higher low in the vicinity. Don't try and anticipate what the market might do. Instead, just wait for that confirmation. So those are the things that I have to clean up. But other than that, I feel like I'm getting back onto the right track, and I just got to continue to be consistent and stay focused on just making the right trades, not being an emotional trader, and just following my strategy in the best possible methods that I can. And if I can do that, I think I should be good. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you learned a lot. I'll be back tomorrow on December 29th, 2023, ready to run it back one more time. But until then, you guys, have a good one, study hard, and take it easy.